ready to go. It's mid-season basketball, and with that, it's Coach Pella. And Coach, first off, looking fabulous today. All the bright colors. I feel bad that I don't have I'm all the doom and gloom here on this side.
Well, I'm used to wearing, black, gray, and silver, and I said it's about time I get some color in my wardrobe. So, yeah.
I always wondered how much the coach would have any emphasis on. Hey, we need this as an accent color. You know what I mean?
I'm working on it. So far, I've been shot down a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. I really like the teal color, but I know, and that kind of goes away from any of the blue, red, purple.
Oh yeah, we don't.
Maroon,
Yeah, we don't talk about that. No.
Yeah, all those. But yeah, so I've been shot down, so we'll see.
And and I heard at one time it was the green, and so that's how I kind of donned the green color and then it's not green anymore, and I'm like, well, it looks like I just really like green. Apparently, I don't understand. Yeah, but hey, nevertheless, you're coming in looking good here today. It makes everything bright and cheery because we're halfway through the season, basketball season. Ups and downs. I mean, we could probably test to. We don't need to, with the record the way it is, still, you're playing some tough competition. You're kind of sitting off in a better situation you did last year. But let's start at the beginning. The holidays, good run. Yep. Coming into the holidays, well, how was everybody gelling? I mean, what was the difference between December and then right into the thick of things in January?
I mean, as far as our record goes, I don't think that's a true representation of, our team and our ability. Like you said, we've played some solid teams. We've played teams that continue to play it up, C1, C2 teams. And when you play better competition, you just play better. As far as December goes, I think we had an easier schedule throughout kind of that first part of December and into the holidays. And then coming in after Christmas, we kind of hit a little bit tougher schedule with, Midekis and some, like I said, some teams that play a lot of C1, C2 schools. But like I said, I don't think our record represents exactly what we're made of. There's a few games that I'd like to get back and play over. But the for the most part, the games we've lost have been to really good teams, very fundamentally sound teams. When we have turnovers, they capitalize on it. And, that's part of the game. So, no, I've thought that, our season up to this point has gone well. The girls have worked extremely hard.
Yes, they have. That is, yeah.
And that's the biggest thing is, are they improving? Are they continuing to work hard? There were a few games where I felt like we kind of got down and maybe didn't give full effort and we ended up losing those games, but I think they've kind of learned from that experience and they, like last night, wasn't, obviously we didn't come out on top, but when we started out the game 2-19 and then we come back and we only lose, within, 20, the start of the game 2-19 looked like it was going to be running clock before halftime. So, their battle, thanks, Christy. Their battle, all the way to the end of the game, I think is something that's definitely improved since December, which is awesome to see.
That I'm glad that you brought that up because I never have seen an ounce of quit from the girls. I've seen this basketball season, and I know you can attest to it. The ones that are always at the highest of pedestals are having an off year, and the ones that you would just think that looking over, probably wouldn't hurt anything, and somehow they surprise. And last night, I really, let's be honest, it was rough going the first half, but that third quarter, my gosh, just a run and where all of a sudden there was a fire lit, and it, like you said, went from bleak to, hey, we might actually have a chance of making this a close one,
Right. And that's what, that's something that we've kind of harped on all year, just give me 100% effort every quarter. I don't care what the score is, obviously I want to win. The girls want to win. And that's, we're working towards, but to see their fight, to see them, not give up, to just, not roll over and be like, oh, it is what it is, has been really encouraging and really, really good to see. We came in that third quarter and we didn't quite, I think they outscored us by 1 or 2 in that third quarter.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. We came in, excuse me. We came in before the game and I threw some new things at the girls within, 15, 20 minutes and they were able to adapt and go out and do what I asked. So, they've been extremely coachable and it's been a fun season so far, to see their growth, to see them improve, to see them, their fight and their determination and coachability. It's been fun.
And there's a lot of first times and positive growth. Like when you brought up about going to Mudecas, we talked about that during the broadcast too throughout that entire week, that a lot of those I think was their first time ever in a Mudecas style environment. I know it was Kara and Kylie, I think, were the only ones from the old regime,
And
but
Lily,
everybody else very first time. And honestly, they held their own. I mean, they really were poised. They were there. They were ready to compete, despite obviously the circumstances.
yeah, and going into that, that's definitely something when you only have 3 girls out of your 16, 17 girls that have, kind of been in that environment and experienced that. That's a big thing too. And going into Mudecas, did I feel like we were A bracket material? Yes and no. The way we were kind of playing at the time, I thought we were more B, but when almost every single coach had us sitting at 7 seed, that I guess I take that with a little bit of pride, knowing that, hey, they think we're competitive enough to be in that A bracket, and we've got something to prove. That we deserve to be here. Other coaches think we deserve to be here, so let's go out and prove what we can. And Menekis wasn't exactly our week, but it is what it is. It's just you take pride in those other coaches, knowing you're at that level.
Hey, we're just glad we actually had Mudecas the whole week. So
Right, right.
that was the biggest thing there. Talking here with Coach Pella, 1-on-1 brought to you by Nebraska Equipment and Seward. And so we transitioned through the thick of things. We're getting into Pioneer Conference. Obviously, didn't work out against Diller Odell, but what did you see as a glimmer, shining kind of piece from that game that you can take away?
I mean, part of it, like I kind of already mentioned, we walked in at 4:30, kind of had a little bit of walkthrough since it was a Monday, and we didn't have practice, and threw some new defensive things at them that we wanted to try, and they came out and they were very receptive to it and did a great job. I think their man-to-man defense kept us in that game, keeping it from being a 40-point game running clock. In that third quarter, they could have at that point just kind of given up, because I think at that point it was 34-9, I think, at going into halftime. We came out third quarter and almost beat them scoring wise in that quarter. And I wasn't sure, their kind of demeanor and things like that on the bench. I wasn't exactly sure how they were going to come out third quarter, but they kind of came out extremely strong, very aggressive, didn't let down. And, that's my biggest takeaway from that game is they just fought the entire game, regardless of what the score said, and regardless of what the outcome was going to be. And that was awesome to see.
And of course, we're going to see them on Valentine's Day on their home turf. So another matchup against Diller Odell. Hopefully, try to rectify some wrongs in that situation. Maybe come out of there with the dub. But taking a look here, our schedule is kind of running short as we end the regular season. At McCool, at Diller Odell. Tell us a little bit about your overall thoughts here as the regular season winds down.
I can't believe, we only have really 2 regular season games left. I'm not sure where the season has gone. It's a long season, but man, February hits and you're like, it's almost over. But No, going into next week, McCool, they've been playing well, but it's definitely something that we can be extremely competitive with them. Another chance at Diller Odell. It's always tough to play teams twice, and I always feel like, especially if you're on the winning side of that, it's even tougher. You might come in with we're gonna do the same thing as we did last time and overlook a team. Maybe not, but I would like to get another chance at them. I think it's something that, we control our turnovers a little bit better. We finished some of our easy buckets, and we're right there with them. And same with last year. We played them really close last year, and I think it was kind of a little bit unexpected. So I think we can give them another shot this year as well.
And then taking a look at sub-district pairings, we are, as EMF, we're looking at what, the McCool Junction area,
Yep, so
pretty much.
I would think so. McCool Junction, Heartland, High Plains, Osceola, us are in that subs, and I mean, so we've got a pretty good sub to get us into hopefully a district final game. As long as we're playing together, we're putting 4 quarters together, we're taking care of the ball. We do all those little things, and we have a really good shot at that district final game. Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll end up at McCool, High Plains, where exactly it'll end up. So, but somewhere kind of in that area.
But lots of good competition, maybe a little redemption too in the mix.
Right.
So that's always the biggest thing. It's you hate to have those sub districts kind of be lopsided, but
Right.
for us, it looks very competitive for the girls'
yeah.
side.
Yeah,
So.
definitely.
So once again, we're at the tail end next week, McCool Junction. Tell us a little bit about what you see in the Mustangs. Obviously, new coach, same old practice. They're looking not perfect like years past, but solid.
Yeah. They graduated oh gosh, her name Yates.
Yates. Yep.
Yeah, they graduated Yates, which was a huge part of their team last year. But this year with her being gone, I think they've had a few girls really step up and fill her position. Maybe not necessarily in that scoring or point guard aspect, but just kind of fill that role as being a leader. And graduating some of those girls that were part of their big scoring. I don't think has hurt them a whole lot this year. They've been playing tough teams. CRC, I think they were what, 3 or 4 seed in CRC. So, and CRC is tough competition as well. And so they're playing well. They're putting things together, but it'll be interesting to actually see them in person and get out on the court and play them in person as well. So I'm excited.
Well, Coach, it's going to be an exciting tail end of the season. I can't wait. I appreciate it as always for all your, accompanying to this, to the post game talk and whatnot.
Of course.
I really do appreciate, despite all the circumstances and being just a go getter this season and allowing me to follow through. So thank you again.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate all your coverage and everything like that. So it's awesome.
Well, let's go get a dub. We got Friday potentially for Pioneer Conference. Yep. Looking ahead to McCool Junction. So not wasting any time. Let's see what we can get done and get some dubs here before the end of the season.
That's right.
Coach Pella joining us on One-on-One. Thank you, Coach.
Welcome to One-on-One, brought to you by Nebraska Equipment in Seward. Eric Johnson with you. It's been a while, and I know Coach is probably excited that I don't get to bug him as much, but hey, now it's the time. Coach Arp joining us here. It's into the regular season, right into the thick of things for state basketball. First and foremost, I can't stress this enough and turn purple in the face. So proud of you, and congratulations, by the way, making it into the state tournament.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been quite the ride, hasn't it?
It has. An exciting ride, to say the least. Be still my beating heart, but, going through, just walk us through briefly how we got things started, getting into the sub-district finals and then the district finals, and how everything just kind of, I guess, fell into place, as they say.
I think number one, we're playing really good basketball at the end of the year. That's kind of the goal, is to continue to find ways to improve. And as you get further and further into the season, finding those little things to kind of dangle the carrot in front of the boys to keep striving to get better. We always, every season I break the year down into 3 seasons. You've got your regular season, which is long. Then you've got your second season, which is districts, and then your third season, which is state. So, I think the boys did a really good job of taking one game at a time. We've talked about that a lot, and I know it's cliche, but I think there's a lot of truth to it, and not getting ahead of yourself and just focusing on the task at hand. And we did a really good job in districts of just taking whatever was in front of us and kind of conquering that one little mountain at a time.
Now, first and foremost, we talk about this every time, Bo. How many more games do we have left?
3, baby.
3. There we go. That's every time it's like, all right, countdown continues. You get through sub-districts, good vibes heading your way. You knew kind of right off the top of your head, all right, we're in a good setting right now for district finals. And the thought process of walking through that district final towards the very end, I mean, just when did it become a light bulb moment going, hey, we're in it now?
You mean like that we won the game in district?
Like just right into the district finals. Like, when did it become evident, like, oh crap, this is actually happening?
It wasn't until probably a minute left in the game. And I had a moment there where I was like, well, maybe we sub the guys out and get the bench in there. And I was like, you know what? I'm not playing with this. We're going to make sure we finish this thing off right and get to where we want to be. And it was about a minute left. And it just kind of set like, oh, we're going to do this. So it was pretty surreal moment.
So what did you do the night you got the W? What is the first thing you did when you got out of the gym?
Well, came up to the room and we had some family members and all the coaches were up here, and we just kind of chatted about the game, and there was a lot of congratulations and good vibes and just a great moment.
It was a great moment. I thought it was one of those where I was indicating there with Coach Nick that 3 communities, despite all the rigmarole, are all on the floor. They're all hugging. They're all clapping. They're all, just rooting until the rafters rattle. I mean, that was it was a defining moment, a rarity here in year 2 for a lot of us in the programs, and seeing this, like I said, the foundation being set. You have an opportunity now to go to state, and you kind of thought to yourself, yeah, we probably might be looking at UTAN possibly, or whatever it may be. You drew Summerland, a very tasty matchup in my opinion. Happy, not so much, or what do you like about Summerland?
At this point in the year, whatever comes down the pipe's going to be good, right? So all 8 teams that are left in C2 are really good. C2 is extremely deep. There's teams that aren't even in it that are really good and would have a chance at winning. I mean, GICC had an unfortunate loss in district finals to West Holt, and GICC, they could go in and win it too. And just like West Holt can win it. And, looking at Summerland, they're a lot like us, and they're very athletic. I would say they can put more athletes on the floor at one time than we probably can, but we're probably a little bit deeper. And our athletes will match up fine with them. I don't think we'll have a problem. But, it's at this point of the year, like I said, anybody you match up with is going to be good, and you just got to kind of roll with whatever's in front of you and just find a way to win the game.
We're talking here with Coach Arp, one-on-one, brought to you by Nebraska Equipment in Seward. And speaking of the matchups, and you kind of pointed that out, we kind of talked about it too off the mic here, that a very stacked C2 division here in the state. Tell me your thoughts, your coach's perspective of all that.
Well, it's just a juggernaut, right? So, for one, just to be one of those 8 teams that's in there with those teams, at the beginning of the year, you kind of start thinking about, well, we'll have a pretty good chance of being pretty good. And then for us, we kept winning. We ran into the Johnson Brock stuff and dropped one to Cross County, but we kept winning, and we found ourselves in this field of 8 teams, and they're all really good, and there's really good records with all of them. They've all had quality wins. It's just a C2 and C1 year in and year out seem to always be the deepest classes in all of the state, and feel very fortunate and excited that we're one of those 8 teams left standing.
And of course, with us against Summerland, we're matching up at 10:45 on Thursday. Lots of great games happening. Of course, you took a look at the lineup. Not only C2, but we have Johnson Brock, you speak of, another top seed that in D1 as well, and our friends over to the west, McCool Junction. Taking a look at the schools that made it in, any of them surprise you making it into state this year?
No, not at all. Johnson Brock's been the odds-on favorite from day one, and I think that they'll have a really good shot at winning it all. McCool Junction's put together a really good season, and even with their big boy out, Maypew, they have a really good chance of making some noise down there. The McDonald kids are phenomenal. They have great guard play. They're well coached, and they'll do a good job. Cross County, they've been one of the best teams in the state now. They got great length and can match up and give problems to anybody. So I'm not surprised, and I think the teams that we played that made it down there will represent really well.
And it's kind of unique because a lot of these, everybody always says, oh, you don't get to face a lot of tough competition. You rattled off everybody, and that's exactly who you had in the regular season and then some. That's just a true testament to how tough a schedule you guys had throughout the regular season, and the only ones on scathing on the other end was Johnson Brock and Cross County. That's got to show a true testament to how the kids basically toughened up and took care of business, right?
Yeah, they every time they step on the floor, they just seem to match whatever energy is out there. Sometimes good, bad, and different, right? Lords wasn't a great team as far as their record goes. We won by 6 to them, 7 maybe. I can't remember exactly what it was.
It was a short window, yeah.
Yeah, it was a tight game, but we always just found a way to win those games. And at the time, you're sitting there thinking, man, golly, we should have. What happened in that game? What did we do wrong or whatever? But maybe they were all just kind of tests to put us in close games and figure out ways to win. And that's one thing I'll say about this team is they found lots of different ways to win. Our free throw shooting has been kind of a bugaboo, but we have won games because of our free throw shooting. We've won games because we shot the ball well. We've won games because we've got stops on defense. So we found lots of ways to win games, and hopefully that proves to be an asset of ours going forward into this tournament.
Well, we got one more quick minute here before we have to say good luck and hopefully get to talk soon type of vibes. But what is the 2 things you're going to be telling your team here once we get suited up and ready to face Summerlin?
Number one, nerves and jitters are going to be something that needs to be calmed down right away. So put your effort in on the defensive end. That's a great place to get all the adrenaline out, to settle down and get into a groove. So just find a way to get settled. And the other thing is just go play ball. You just got to play basketball. It's just another game. And if the team that makes it just a game probably has the advantage.
Nicely put. Of course, with everybody coming into the equation, Wednesday, the big pep rally day. I know the teams are going to be out there. I hear they're facing up against the adults, the teachers. Little basketball game. I get to help call that game, so that'll be interesting to see. But
all right.
Nevertheless, one last thing. Just for you to talk to the listening audience. What do you want to tell them going forward here as we go to the Devaney Center this Thursday morning?
Show up. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for some of these boys. These seniors, they've never been down here, and this doesn't happen all the time. So show up and be loud, give your support, and also thank you for your support all year. We've had great crowds all year long. We've traveled well. The support's been amazing.
It sure has. We're all super proud of you, of course. Just a disclaimer, if you hear like a shrieking female voice of excitement, that's me over there at the sideline. So just bear with me. I can't hold my emotions in, but
that's
nevertheless,
fine. Neither can
That's right. Super proud of you, Coach. Congratulations yet again. I hope we have a couple more talks under our belt, but
Absolutely.
we got 3 games to go.
Yep,
So
you bet.
thank you, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Yep, thank you.